Welcome back to Face the Nation. We spoke with UN Ambassador Nikki Haley before the London attacks occurred, so we had to edit her remarks for our broadcast today. The longer version of our interview is available at facethenation.com. We began by asking about international reaction to the president's decision to pull out of the Paris Climate Change Accord.
I think they understand. They understand that the U.S. is doing what's in the best interest for the U.S. And the thing is, John, we've always been a leader when it comes to the environment, and we've always been very conscious of that. And what you're seeing the U.S. do is making sure we're taking care of the U.S. first. Our first concern does not need to be what the international community thinks of us. Our concern needs to be, are we doing right by the American citizens?
Does the president believe in climate change, Ambassador?
He believes the climate is changing, and he believes pollutants are part of that equation. And I know that he is absolutely intent on making sure that we have clean air, clean water, that he makes sure that we're doing everything we can to keep America's moral compass in the world when it comes to the environment. We've done that in the past. We'll do it in the future. It's what the U.S. does. It's what we'll continue to do.
That seems to be a difference from what the president has said before. He had said, I do not believe in climate change, and he has called it a hoax. So you're saying that's not true. He believes in man-made climate change.
The president believes the climate is changing, and he does know that pollutants are a part of that equation.
So he believes that human activity, which creates those pollutants, leads to climate change.
I mean, right? John, I just gave you the answer. I mean, that's what he believes, and so that's as clear as I know to give it. You know, we can all weigh this out, but at the end of the day, watch what the president does. What he is doing is making sure that we have jobs for American citizens, but also making sure that we have a clean environment.
You and the president have said he would like to forge a new agreement with the international community. Now, countries like Germany and Italy have said there can be no agreement. But also, how can there be an agreement if the United States doesn't believe that human activity leads to climate change and the entire rest of the world does?
John, I think that at the end of the day, we can debate the minutia of what is and what isn't climate change, but what we have to look at is the president said he's going to look out for jobs, he's going to look out for the economy, and he's going to look out for America's interests. But we're always going to be a good international citizen. It's what we've always done. We've always been conscious of the environment. We're not going to stop doing that.
Okay, well, it seems like there's an irrevocable disagreement with the rest of the world. Let me ask you this question.
I think the rest of the world would like to tell us how to manage our own environment. And I think that anybody in America can tell you that we're best to decide what America should do. We don't need India and France and China telling us what they think we should do.
Angela Merkel, apparently, in her conversation with the president about this, said if the United States pulled out of the agreement, what would the moral message be to countries like Africa, where climate change affects drought and famine and war, and then also countries like Fiji, where the rising sea levels affect it? What's the answer to Chancellor Merkel?
The answer is that they should continue doing what's in the best interest. And if the Paris Agreement was something that works for them, that they can achieve, they should do that. You know, there's a reason that President Obama didn't go through the Senate to get this cleared, because he couldn't. The regulations were unattainable. I mean, you could not actually have a business run under the regulations that we had. And so we're not saying forget about the environment. We know that there are issues with the environment. We know that we have to be conscious of it. But we can't sit there and have Angela Merkel telling us to worry about Africa. She should continue doing her part. We're going to continue doing our part. We're going to continue encouraging other countries to do what they think is in the best interest of them. But, you know, American sovereignty matters.